Welcome to today's episode of Nibblin and Noshin. I'm Mary Leach, the registered dietitian at Mosaic Cancer Care in St. Joseph, Missouri. In our time together throughout the videos, you may have noticed that there's so many versatile recipes, things that you can take a basic recipe and make a lot of different changes. Well, today we're going to do that very same thing. Oftentimes when you're going through cancer treatments, or maybe you're taking care of a person with cancer, or maybe you just are on the go all the time and you need something quick for breakfast, well, I have an answer for you today. It may not seem like it's easy, but I promise you it is. This recipe, some of you may recall from back in the 70s, maybe the 80s, the good old refrigerator Raisin Bran Muffins. I remember my mom having the Tupperware container with that batter in it all the time, so all she had to do was scoop it out and we had hot muffins for breakfast. This is the same recipe, except I've cut it down a little bit. But if it's too much, you can still store the leftover batter in the refrigerator for future use. So the ingredients that you'll need for today's recipe is about 7.5 ounces of Raisin Bran. This is about 3 1/4 cups. You need 1.5 cups of sugar, 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 cups of buttermilk, 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. I happen to use canola, but any other oil you prefer is certainly okay. We have 2 extra large eggs and 2.5 teaspoons of baking soda, 3/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, and about 1/8 teaspoon of salt. We will simply start by mixing together our 2 cups of buttermilk along with our eggs and oil, and we'll beat that up till the eggs are mixed in well. And then we'll add our 2 eggs. We're gonna mix this up really well, as I said, to get those eggs beat up, mixed in there. And then we'll add the Raisin Bran to it. There's a lot of different ways that you can do this. I've seen some recipes that you'll soak the Raisin Bran with some hot water, but the recipe I have doesn't have that happen. So now we're gonna add our Raisin Bran and we'll just stir that all together. I think we've mentioned in the past that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. So this, again, is a simple recipe. And then you could serve it with some butter, some cream cheese, and have a great higher calorie breakfast. Or you could even use them for a snack. Now we'll add our sugar and our flour. Give that a quick mix. And the leavening in this recipe, what makes those muffins rise, is the buttermilk in combination with the baking soda. Now I'm going to add the baking soda, cinnamon, and salt, and just give it a good old mix. What's great about this recipe, again, making variations to it. If you want to use just plain bran cereal, you could do that, and then add some dried apples. Or maybe you want to add some pineapple and coconut and a little rum extract. The varieties of muffins that you can make is absolutely endless. We now have our batter mixed well, as you can see, and this is the point that you could put it into a covered container or a canister and store it in the refrigerator. Today, we're going to go ahead and bake a few of these off. With your muffin tins or cupcake pans, You can do this a variety of ways. If you prefer cupcake liners, that's absolutely okay. If you prefer to use the cupcake papers, that's fine as well. I just sprayed my pan down with some nonstick spray, and I use a simple, about 1/4 of a cup ice cream scoop to fill up the muffin tins. What are some types of muffins that you like to eat? Do you have some of your favorites? If so, we would love for you to comment in the section below and tell us what you like to do. Now we're going to put this in the oven. And so we're going to bake these at about 400 degrees for 15 to 18 minutes. And you'll see that we have some already done, ready to go. And for a quick breakfast, if you have yourself a couple hard-boiled eggs, some fruit, and then a muffin, you have a great, well-rounded, nutritious breakfast. We hope that you have enjoyed this episode of Nibblin and Noshin. And until next time, eat well.